Okay, so let's get started. All right, so last week we did from Romans chapter 10. We just did one verse and yeah, okay. Anyone can you give ideas on what we drew, what we learned? Okay, there are two parts. So the first part.
We have to clarify that Jesus is the Lord. So and the meaning of the word Lord is that we accept Him as our King in our life.
Yeah, accepting him as king. Yeah, okay. So far, who was king until we accepted Jesus as king, God as
Yeah,
king?
We were our own king.
Yeah, yeah. So we were sitting on the throne, directing what we should do. Mm. So we didn't bother to listen to the real king. We thought mm, we were doing role play. So I will be the king. And me listen to myself types. Okay. So the first part is about confessing, saying it out. Um, yeah, okay. What's the second part about?
The second part is about believing that you were a sinner, and then when you found God, you started you got a clean cut,
Mm,
and from Jesus raising from the grave, and also He saved your life from drowning, and He caught you by a fishnet.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So what should we believe? We should believe that Jesus is raised from the dead. So why should we believe that Jesus is raised from the dead? What's the significance? What what does that imply?
Because if we don't believe, it's like as if we are walking dead, so we don't actually believe and know that Jesus raised Jesus was raised from the dead. But when we believe, it's like we are alive, and so we trust in Jesus, and we also believe in Him.
Yeah, we were like walking dead people. So on the right side, I think this is a nice diagram. So we were just dead, but walking around. And Jesus, when we believe in Jesus' resurrection, we actually believe that God has the power to give us life for us dead people. So yeah, our heartbeat was like flat, and then we got our heartbeat back because God raised us, gave us life. And yeah, so both things together. So we confess with our mouth and we believe in our heart. Um, when we do both these, then we are saved. So yeah, this is the picture we've been drawing a few times in the past also, that God captures us, or Jesus captures us when we say help, yeah, and saves us, takes us with him in his boat. Okay. Right, so today for another science topic. So we've reached friction. Okay, friction is something I enjoyed working on. There are a lot of things we can learn through friction. Okay, so today we're going to discuss the different kinds of friction, or different ways, different ways friction happens, or we see friction around in different ways. Okay, so we're going to discuss that. And next month, we will discuss some spiritual lessons that we can pick from friction. So remember, God created everything around us for us to know Him, for us to discover Him. Anything that you learn, anything that you see, God created so that through that we can discover Him, we can know Him better. So there is nothing is without reason. Okay, everything points to God. Okay, so friction as well points to God. Okay, so today it's going to be a bit harder to draw, so I would like your brilliant ideas. Okay. Okay, what's the date today? Today's 3.
Uncle, actually,
Yes,
today. It's
today's
birthday.
your birthday. Oh, okay. Not sure if we had anybody's birthday on CDBS Day. Okay, let's sing happy birthday to Kripa. Okay, you can all turn your mics on and sing.
Okay,
What?
you can sing it at the end if you want.
We'll do it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, start. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
you.
Happy
Happy birthday,
birthday, dear Kripa.
Kripa.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to
to you.
you.
Okay, happy birthday. So we didn't have a cake to offer. Maybe there is some emoji or something.
No.
Okay. Okay, have a nice day. Sorry, nice day as well as nice year ahead.
Okay.
And yeah, so in the end, we will also pray for you. Okay. Okay. Right. So a life with friction, but little friction, and that pushes you towards God. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so friction is all around us. What's friction? Can anyone tell me in simple words? Hmm?
I think it's the force that helps us to walk, and the gravity push and that helps us to stay on the ground,
Yeah.
and also friction, and that helps things to move.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
Yeah. Anyone else wants to try friction? In simple words, what's friction? Okay, let me ask you this. Without friction, how will it be if there is no friction?
We can't walk.
Okay, we can't walk. The story on Socho Kids focuses on that, a surface where there is no friction. How will it be? It'll be just forever slippery. Mm. So friction gives us grip, so friction
it's
needs,
everywhere, and
yeah.
they didn't have those grids on the tires. They'll
Mm,
slip, and many accidents can cause. And also, we'll be only slipping the whole day.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So friction gives us grip, so without friction, we can't imagine a world without friction. So everywhere there is friction, otherwise, yeah. So nothing will be held, nothing will behave as it behaves now. It's gonna be very different. And God created friction, enough amount of friction. It's not like um, too much friction in many things. No, so there is just enough friction for us to function properly. So without friction, it's going to be just un, uh, unusable. Anything, walking, everything will be won't be possible. But yeah, so God is super wise that even when we discussed about magnetism, Earth as a magnet, God has given NF magnetism, no? So in friction also God has given enough friction around. It's not like way too much friction or way too less friction. Yeah. So uh, yeah. So we will see some examples of friction. Yeah. Okay. One more thing we will discuss and then get into the kinds of friction. Um, what are some spiritual lessons or comparisons that we can have? Um, what's friction in real life?
Some problem we might have.
Yeah. So any problem, any small or big problem, anything can be called as friction. So friction happens between two people. In relationships, we see friction. So there is some tension, some misunderstanding, or some argument that causes some friction. So it could be between two people or between us and God. So of course, not from God's side. God's side, yeah, God might say something that we don't like, or we might disobey God. There is some friction. No, um, yeah. So friction helps us. Friction is an opportunity for us to get back close with God or get back close with that person. You know, so friction is good. Without friction, we wouldn't. Okay, how will it be if life is without problems? No problems, like absolutely zero problems. Everything is perfect. Hmm?
It would just be boring.
Is it? Okay. Who wants to be Kripa's sibling? Hmm? She likes problems. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, life will be boring. And we should ask Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve lived in a life without friction. Not the physical friction, but life without problems, relationship problems for a while. I don't know how long. Hmm. Maybe they got bored. That's why they sinned, is it? Okay. Yeah. We might depend on God less. We might not. Okay, there won't be any prayer points if there is no friction. No, no requirement to go after God. Go to God. Yeah. Um. Yeah. So God gave us friction to push us towards Him, seek for Him, look for Him, ask Him for help, um, get to know who we are truly. You know? Yeah. Okay. Okay. We will discuss more of that then in part 2. Right. So I put in some points. There are more points in the friction science page of the magazine, so you can refer to that. But yeah, so I thought it'll be nice to draw these if possible, okay, to understand how friction happens and how it helps us grip things, or God has helped us grip different things. Okay. Okay. So microscopic terrain. So when we take two surfaces, okay, so my hands, okay, so it's not super slippery. There is some friction. Yeah. So I can feel I can't just slide smooth. No. If I put different things on my hand, friction changes. No, so sometimes it's smooth. So if I put some powder, maybe I get more friction. If I put some oil, I get less friction. No, so if we zoom in, uh, we will see some. What will we see if we zoom into my hand? Is it like perfect smooth line, or what do we see?
You see rough lines that
Yeah.
are in the prints and stuff of your hand.
Yeah.
That's helping you cause this terrain, microscopic terrain
Yeah,
motion.
yeah, yeah. So
So,
we see.
so if you put oil, I think it goes much more faster, but yeah, it'll be like this until the hand is
Yeah, yeah,
tight.
yeah. So if we put oil, probably it'll fill all the grooves, and so it gives you a sliding effect over the grooves, so you don't get into the grooves. Maybe. Yeah. So okay. So if you zoom in into anything, not just my hand, into anything. Okay. So you will see. You won't see a smooth surface. You will see a rough terrain. Okay. So maybe we will draw um, some okay terrains. Okay, maybe 2 or 3. Okay, so my finger will okay. If you look at your finger, you will have fingerprints. No, so fingerprints are just tiny grooves inside. So there is a piece of flesh that is high, and there is a piece of flesh that is low. Okay, so that's what gives you the rough surface. Okay, so a simplest way would be to draw a sawtooth wave. We call it sawtooth wave. Is like a zigzag triangle. Okay. Okay. So let's draw that first. Okay. So surface 1. So we're going to label surface 1 and 2. Okay. Okay. So I'll say 1. Okay. We're going to draw 3. So you can leave some space for 3 different surfaces. Okay. Okay. So this is 1. Okay. We'll draw 3 pairs. Okay. And another surface. Let me take a different color.
It looks like the mountains outside my house.
Okay, okay, okay.
Mm.
Yeah. So my mountains cannot slide with another mountain. Okay. Okay. So this is how our surface might some surfaces might look like. My finger uh, when we rub one finger with the other fingers, it might look something like this. Might look like a sawtooth wave, and so this is what causes friction. So one thing gets inside the other thing, and it gets stuck a little bit, and then it comes out, gets inside the next groove, and then it comes out next groove, and so on. So it doesn't slide smooth. At the same time, it's not like too hard to push. You can push. Yeah, you can hold it. Okay. Okay. Can you give me any other idea, any other shape? Any shape. We'll find things with any shape. So yeah, any other shape?
For the terrain drawing,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Can draw like small bumps, like it's a flat surface and
Mm.
then there are bumps on it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. That will be number 2. Okay. So let's draw. Okay. Something like this. Okay. Let me pick a different color. Okay. So like this, right? Okay, it need not be continuous also. Okay, we'll draw the bottom one with the discontinuous bumps like this. Okay, you'll have to imagine a little bit, okay? So that one surface is rubbing over the other surface, no? So that's when you have friction, you can feel friction, no? So it can also, your, what do we call it that? Call them ties? No. Your shoes where there is no lace, no, so you just strap it. There's a strap to stick on to that, no, so they have hooks. Well,
yeah,
let's draw that as a third one. Yeah,
Velcro, Velcro, they have hooks, that one.
no, no,
Mm.
not the belt.
Oh,
What do we call that?
Velcro.
Velcro, yeah.
Yeah, what's that?
Velcro.
Velcro. Yeah, yeah, I think that's what we're talking about. Okay, I'll draw that. I'll go ahead and draw that as the third option. So that's something like this. Okay, so you have hooks on one side like this. Something like this. And then on the other side, you have loops. Okay, yeah. So you have loops. Yeah. So this is how something like this. Now, so we press it on and drag it, and it will get locked into the loops, and there is enough friction so it doesn't come out smooth. Okay. Yeah. So of course, so this last thing that we drew, it can be very tiny also. It can be very tiny hooks also on a surface. So yeah. Okay, so things like that. So you get the idea. When we zoom in, we see surfaces like this, different surfaces that grew onto the other surface. Okay. Okay. Let's go down to the second option. So there's something called atomic stickiness. Okay, so when one material bonds with another material, so um, okay, so let's draw. Okay, so hydrogen and oxygen, when they come in at the right proportion, they bond with each other. Okay. Okay, so something like this. Okay.
So if
Yeah.
it's stickiness, we can
If it
uh,
uh,
atomic stickiness,
yeah.
draw a glue bottle,
Mm-hmm.
and and then we can show how it sticks to a paper. Like we can make it like in thin air and then a paper and it's sort of yellow on the paper so that the glue is squirting on the paper and then like that sticks.
Okay. Okay. Mm, okay. Yeah. Um, okay. So that could, when we zoom in, like zoom in a lot into the atomic structure of the material, then we will see this atomic stickiness. Yeah. Okay. So let's take this example of paper and glue. Okay, so we'll draw it in one corner, and then we're going to zoom in like real close and see what's happening. Okay, so this is my paper, and I'm just going to take some what orange color something, and just okay, a little more smoother. Okay, so this is my glue. Okay, okay. So if we zoom in, it's going to look like this, like not even through a microscope. I can't see that, see atoms in a microscope, but yeah, so we need very special devices to see them. Okay, so they'll be something like this. So, okay, so this is one thing, and there are bonds. Okay, and there is another material. Okay, so this material is going to bond with this material. Okay, and maybe this another material is going to bond with, okay, that's too far. Okay, so something like this. So they have something called okay, let's think of this as some token or something, so they will, so one thing will have a missing token, other one will have a token, so they will go and share and bond. Okay, so something like that. So all these guys have maybe, or maybe this has a missing token, this has a missing token, so they can share. If one thing has, other thing doesn't have. Okay, so something like this. Just the circle means then there is no token there. Okay, so that can bond with the other one. Okay, so maybe this is like paper, and maybe this is glue. Okay, so yeah, you should get into chemistry, but yeah, we're just sticking on to examples of paper and glue and what. This is maybe another paper. Okay, so this is maybe what? Okay, so let's say paper 2 and paper 1. Okay, so when it comes to atoms, okay, so yeah, let's not get into the chemistry of things, but just that there is they extend bond between two materials, and some materials can bond because one thing lacks this token, another thing has the token, and those, so they can share and lock. And yeah, so some materials cannot bond with each other, so they don't have anything to share and bond. Yeah, so some materials can bond with each other. Okay, yeah, so glue might have this property. Okay, okay, so let's go to squishy grip. Okay, so squishy grip is something that when you press it goes in, so yeah, squishy ball. Or on sides of pen also you have squishy grip, and some pens when you press it goes in, so that's kind of a squishy grip. Okay, so what shall we draw as example for squishy grip?
We can draw a squishy ball.
Squishy ball.
And
How do we draw a squishy ball?
we just make a ball
Uh-huh.
and color it with all sorts of colors.
Mhm.
And then we'll make a person's hand like almost squish the ball.
Yeah, I'm not so good in drawing a hand. Okay, let's draw some fingers maybe. Okay, so let's draw a squishy ball. Okay, so we're gonna draw two sets. Okay, so one just the ball, and then the next one some fingers squeezing the ball. Okay, so I'm just gonna draw something like this on top. You can draw your own squishy ball. Yeah, so just adding some spikes on top. Okay. Okay, can just go ahead and fill it inside also, inside as well. Okay, something like this. Okay, so this is before we squeeze the ball. So ball is in full shape and its proper shape. Okay, yeah, kind of looks like that. We can imagine. Okay, then I'm gonna draw two fingers. Okay, so just gonna, yeah,
Uncle,
yeah.
what if you draw two people hugging? Because half the time someone squishes the other.
Yeah, we can do that as well. Yeah. Okay, so I'll go with two fingers. Yeah, squeezing this ball. I'm just gonna draw two fingers. Okay, one should be a thumb, right? We squeeze. You can squeeze between. Okay, something like this. This is my 2 fingers. Okay, this is one nail, my thumb. Okay, let me do this. Okay, that should be enough. Okay, so I'm going to draw the ball in between now. Okay. Okay, so ball has become like this. Okay, so it's squished. It has taken a different shape now. It's pressed nicely. It takes the shape of whatever object that presses it. Yeah. Yeah. Again, drawing people is harder for me. 2 people squeezing, hugging each other is difficult to express for me. But yeah, you get the point. Okay, so something like this. Okay, so the more you squeeze. Oh, you've drawn something? I didn't see.
I did the squish. It's very light.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very light actually.
Yeah, okay. You can see that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that's a squishy grip. So yeah, we like squishy grip. We use it for play and some things. Yeah, hugs also come under this category. Yeah, and what else? Yeah, any foam or anything that we hold, for washing things or vessels or car. Okay, yeah, so that's squishy grip. Okay, so the thing deforms when we press it, and yeah, okay, so that's squishy grip. Okay, so let's go to the next one, electrostatic forces. Okay, so these are charge particles getting attracted to one another. So you must have played this game, right? You comb your hair and then put bits of paper on a flat surface and take the comb near the bits of paper. The bits of paper will get attracted towards the comb. You played this? No? You've not? Okay, you can try it after CDBS. Okay, so just comb your hair a minute and then put small bits of paper and then take the comb close to the bits of paper. The paper will get attracted to the comb. So that is just electrostatic forces. So you have charged particles attracting.
I've done the balloon thing. You rub the balloon continuously on something, and then your hair will be going up.
Yeah. Uh, His hair will just stand up and yeah. So that's all electrostatic forces. Okay. If you're in a cold place, I think you'll see that charge getting passed on when you touch a car or an object. You wear a sweater, you rub your sweater and then touch something, you'll see charge pass on. Yeah, okay. So that's electrostatic forces, no? Okay. Okay, so we'll draw some charge plus charge. So it's similar to the bond that we did. Okay. we'll do something similar. Okay, I'm just wondering how to draw it. Okay, let's go ahead, draw it a little bit differently. Okay, so I'm just going to make a different shape just to have a change. So there are different charge around it. Okay. Okay, so some are plus, other things are minus, plus, minus. Okay, so something like this. Okay, and then you have another thing. Okay, so this also has something like this. Charges all around. Okay, so the plus gets attracted to the minus. Okay, and the minus gets attracted to the plus. Oops, I was doing minus with red. Okay, so opposite charges attract. Okay, so positive charge attracts negative charge, and negative charge attracts positive charge. Yeah. Okay, so something like that. Yeah, we can have two continuous positive charges and two continuous negative charges. Okay, so something like this. Okay, so let's name this thing. What shall we name this thing? Okay, so we just discussed about a comb. And a paper. Okay, so you can try this experiment later. Okay, so yeah, so wherever there are charges, so there is friction, attraction and repulsion happens. So because of that, there is friction expressed. No, so these are at very tiny levels, and yeah, so yeah, some of this we can see it with our eyes, some of this we cannot see it with our eyes. No, attraction and repulsion. Okay, so that's electrostatic forces. Okay, and temperature. Okay, so when temperature changes, friction changes. So when things are hot, a surface can kind of become squishy a little bit for different things. You might see in kitchen also we use temperature for friction a lot. So when, say for example, honey or even your oil gets frozen in winter, if it's in a cold place and you have to heat it up, change the temperature a little bit for the oil to start flowing a little bit. Yeah. Even honey, sometimes some kind of honey gets sticky, super sticky, and you heat it a little bit for it to flow a little bit. Ghee, um, yeah, so things like that. You get the point, right? You have any other example in your mind? Yeah, so we apply honey on a pancake, and if it's hot, then it's nice. Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's do that. Let's draw two rectangles. Okay, let me find some other color. Okay, so yeah. Okay, think of an example. You can share. Okay, so two rectangles. I'm just going to fill it with some color. Okay, with the same color. Okay, I think I should have used a different color. Okay, So I can show temperature rising. Okay. So I'll take the next thing to be brown. Okay. So I'm going to edit this. Okay. So I'll draw it and then okay. So usually, it's not always, usually when temperature rises, friction reduces because the surface becomes a bit smoother, a bit flowy, kind of, yeah, melts a little bit. And if you want more friction, it should be colder. If it's colder, it gets harder, there is more friction, okay? Yeah, so when we heat it up, okay, let's say, okay, let's draw a candle. What color candle? Okay, an orange color candle. Okay, so that's a candle. Okay, so we heat up both the elements, and so on the surface there is some flowing. The thing becomes a bit soft, so there is a small, molten kind of structure on the surface. So what happens? So when you slide it, it becomes a bit smoother when you slide it. Okay. So usually you don't see it unless you heat it up. Okay. So the surface becomes smoother and you can slide to things more easily when you heat up. Okay. Yeah, you can try this. If two things are stuck, then you can heat it up a little bit, and then, even opening bottle caps, um, glass bottles, we use this technique, heat it up a little bit and then, okay, so that's temperature. Okay, dirt and dust. So when you have dirt, dust, your friction increases. So, okay, so again, let's draw two rectangles this time. We will draw it closer to each other. Okay, this time let's use, oops, two different colors. Okay, and one more color. Okay, I'll choose this. So I'm drawing it closer to each other. Okay, so let's say these are two glass pieces. Okay, so what do you think? Will it have a lot of friction or less friction when I just have these two glass pieces?
Have less.
Less. Okay,
Less friction.
less friction. Okay, so I put some sand particles on it. What will happen? Will the friction increase or decrease?
Increase.
Really? You've tried it? There's a worksheet on the just after the story. Okay, so you can try it. There are some examples you can add to the list always. Yeah. So what will happen if you between glass pieces, if you put sand particles, it's going to be more smoother, I think. Okay, and it depends on what kind of sand you put. You put very fine sand, I think it'll be smoother. It'll slide more freely. If you put coarse sand particles, maybe the friction will increase. Yeah. Okay, so bigger sand particles or bigger things. Yeah. Okay. Um, okay. So let's put some, okay, I'll just fill this box and then put some particles in between. So the finer particles will kind of lift the whole glass thing up and slide it, smoothen it. Okay. So if you put heavier particles, then maybe it'll cause things to go into the, cause a dent into the glass, scratch, and cause more friction, I feel. Yeah. Okay. So, okay, let me take, okay, I think this is good enough. Okay, so I'll put some particles. Okay, so something like this. Yeah. So dirt and dust will look like this, So small, not always round, different shapes, different sizes. Okay. So yeah, dirt and dust is gonna slow down your glass plates. I think. Sand as such might smoothen things between glass. Yeah. Bigger particles will probably cause a scratch on the glass, and the scratch is just a dent. If you zoom in, and then it will cause more friction on the surface, I think. Yeah. So yeah. Um, yeah. Okay. Okay. Two more things we have. Let's finish these two. Okay. Starting friction. Okay. So anything um starting trouble. So even things have starting trouble. No? So even if there is a rock on the slope of a hill or a slope of a mountain, to get it started, to roll it, it's gonna take some force, a good amount of force. Yeah. So once it starts rolling, then there's less friction. So that's moving friction. Okay, so in a slope, gravity also helps. It also pulls it down. Okay, so yeah, to wake up in the morning, that's starting friction. So there is good amount of starting friction for some of us. Okay, so to move things when it is at rest, so there is some force required. Once it starts moving, it's a bit easier to move it, continue to move it. Okay. Okay, so what shall we draw? A rock, a big rock. Yeah, okay, so that will make sense, I think. So let's draw a surface. So that's a surface, and draw a big rock on top of it. The bottom of the rock is not so round, so that we can imagine that you need a lot of force to get it started. Okay, so say this is the size of what size of a big washing machine or something. So to get this rock pushed, move this rock, it's gonna take many people. Maybe let's draw some people. We didn't draw any person this time. Okay, so I'll draw one person. Okay. And he is trying to push. Okay. So all the best person pushing this rock, whoever that is. So starting friction is like this. When the rock is at rest, it doesn't move. It is hard to move it. Okay, so once it starts rolling, then it's a bit easier. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Why do you think so? Once it starts moving, it's a bit easier to continue pushing the rock, continue rolling the rock.
Because there's friction.
Yeah, so once it starts moving, there is less friction. Why? even a tire. Okay, so I'm not sure if you'll understand this example. When the car is parked and I try turning the wheel of the car, it's harder. But when the car is moving and I turn the wheel, my steering wheel a little bit, and it turns nicely, it's smooth. I can drive with one finger. But when the car is at rest, I can't turn the steering wheel with one finger or even one hand. It's harder. Yeah. Why is it so?
So I imagined it with a cycle, what the
Oh,
example
yeah.
you
Yeah. Cycle also,
So,
same thing. Yeah.
so when we are moving, we already gain some speed, and
Yeah.
we just have to mainly control the direction where it's going. But when it's at rest and we have to move it, it takes force to make it gain speed.
Yeah, yeah. So there is another factor that comes into play, the speed, So momentum, or so there is a motion in play. So motion will allow your tire to only touch on the ground little bit, and it is always leaving your ground, So some portion is about to touch and some portion is always leaving, So yeah, so that's why you have less friction. When it is on the ground, a major portion is touching the ground. A major meaning lots of plenty of surface is touching the ground, and it doesn't have the forward momentum. It doesn't. There is no leaving the surface. No, so
Sir,
yeah.
while it is moving, uh, many parts of the tire is touching it because it is moving now.
While it is moving, some part is about to touch, some part is about to leave, and a small portion only will actually be uh, gripped onto the surface. Yeah, that's my understanding.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll check this. We'll cross check this. Okay. Yeah, we'll remember this next time. Okay. Okay. Moving friction. So yeah, let's draw a cycle tire. I think that's a good thing to remember. Okay. Okay. So this is our surface, and just gonna draw cycle tire. Whatever I draw is the cycle tire. Okay. So okay, something like this. Let me draw one more circle inside. I have tools to draw concentric circles to some extent. Yeah, see, perfect circles. Who can draw perfect circles like this? Okay, so some center. Okay, and then some spokes. Okay, so when it is in motion, yeah, so this is what we study in science. This is why we study science. We see what's happening to the cycle. So what's different when the cycle is at rest and when the cycle is in motion. Um, there is some momentum, there is some. Okay, so what actually happens on the surface of the tire? So why stickiness is less? Because yeah, there is something always leaving. Yeah, I think less portion will touch the road when you actually drive it instead of when it is parked. Okay, we'll check that. Yeah. So there is some speed. Okay, so maybe in this direction, this moving. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. I like my cycle tire. It also has grip. We didn't draw that, so it's not as smooth as we can see. Okay. So there's some grooves and some design pattern on your side cycle tire. Different patterns will give you different grip also. You know, race tires are mostly smooth. Yeah. So, but they have different kind of rubber than what we use. Okay. Okay. So we've seen quite a few examples. There are more types of friction that we can have. Yeah, but different things will contribute to different friction. Yeah, so temperature, dirt, atomic stickiness, microscopic terrain, squishy grip, electrostatic forces. So all of this may not be there always, may not contribute always. So some of this will contribute in some places, you know. So yeah, like that. Yeah. Okay. So we will extract lessons next time we do part 2. Okay. So, but for now, remember, keep watching, eyes open, see where all you see all this. Okay. And yeah. Okay, let's pray. Dear God, we thank you for today. Thank you for we explored different ways we see friction, different patterns and designs, and different stickiness. We thank you for giving us enough friction to have meaningful grip on everything. We also thank you for Kripa, for her life and for you being close with her. Pray that next year will be a wonderful year, that she'll know you and love you more dearly. Thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay. Once again, happy birthday and bye bye.
You